Hi, friends. Welcome to our weight loss book club, Salt, Sugar, Fat. This book was written by Michael Moss, and we are doing chapter 8, which is titled Liquid Gold. And oh my gosh, what did they do to our cheese? Cheese. Wow, this chapter, I have to admit, I listened to it first. I also have Salt, Sugar, Fat on Audible. And so when Jeff and I were traveling, we listened to this chapter in our van while we were camping and traveling. And I had to tell you, this to me was kind of a disappointing chapter, finding out so much about the history of what they have done to our cheese. And cheese is one of my favorite foods. I love cheese. I like to put cheese on lots of things. But the parts of this book that I always like the most is when they share a little nostalgia, and it brings back memories of when I was a kid eating some of these processed foods for the first time. And the first chapter starts in the beginning telling about Cheez Whiz. And I remember my family did not buy Cheez Whiz very often. It was extremely, extremely rare for my family to buy it. But when I would spend the night at a girlfriend's house as a kid, a lot of times their parents would buy Cheez Whiz for us and crackers. And I used to think it was so much fun to squeeze the cheese out of the can, and it would make almost like an ice cream cone in a way, like a soft serve ice cream cone. You could make like little designs on your cracker with the cheese, and it spread really easy. And I thought it was really tasty and delicious.
Something really telling, though.
Yeah.
The person who invented it won't eat it and doesn't buy it.
No.
And when they eat cheese, they take it from the refrigerator out to warm up to room temperature, so get it ready. And it's something that you eat, not just something as an ingredient in something else.
In a recipe, but they just eat really good cheese by itself.
Right.
Well, the guy who...
Is that what you did with your Cheez Whiz?
No.
Squirt it down a little plate, let it come to room temperature, then just eat it?
No, I'm not even sure if we kept the Cheez Whiz container in the refrigerator. I
think you did.
I think when you buy it, it's on the... I think you buy it like where you would buy cereal on a regular shelf. Maybe. And maybe you have to refrigerate it after opening. But I remember when we would open it for the first time, I mean, it was room temperature. And we would spread the Cheez Whiz on our crackers. But it says here in the very beginning, the guy who created Cheez Whiz in the 1950s, it first came out in 1953, it had real cheese in it. Cheese was one of the ingredients of Cheez Whiz. And but it was softer, and they sold it saying, you can put in all kinds of things, baked potatoes and stuff. It was very spreadable.
To call it like cheese?
Yeah, because it had real cheese in it.
But then later they had to...
Well, wait. Okay. Before that,
all right.
Later, he hadn't eaten it for a while. And I think I even have the date in it, because when I saw it, I highlighted it today. Because we listened to the chapter first, and then I went through some of it just a little bit ago and highlighted things that I thought were important. In 2001. Okay, so Cheez Whiz came out in 1953.
You said that.
And I highlighted on page 161 where the guy who made it said, so it was with considerable alarm that when this guy, the guy who made it, turned to his wife one evening in 2001, having just sampled a jar of Cheez Whiz he'd picked up at the local Winn-Dixie supermarket. I said, "Holy God, it tastes like axle grease." He looked at the label and said, "What the hell did they do?" And then he called up Kraft using their 800 number for consumer complaints and told them, you're putting out a cuss word, axle grease. And then there were 27 items listed as ingredients, starting with watery byproduct of milk called whey, and then canola oil, corn syrup, an additive called milk protein concentrate, that and just all kinds of stuff. 27 ingredients. But in those 27 ingredients, not one of them was cheese. They took the cheese out of Cheese Whiz. Oh my gosh, can you believe that? So anyway, and then they tell some more things in here about how the government tried to really help the dairy farmers. And so they subsidized them, and the dairy farmers, they didn't have to worry what consumers didn't buy at the grocery stores. They could just sell it to the government, and the government would hold it. And so another thing that I found very disturbing in this chapter was we were spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to save up cheese products that the dairy farmers couldn't sell, and we were holding so much of it that it started spoiling and rotting. And that's really, really this was a hard chapter for me, because I still remember as a kid all the commercials on TV of starving children, and how, if you give, like, I don't know, 50 cents a day or something ridiculously small, this kid who has flies flying all around him, and he has a bloated belly, and because his tummy doesn't have muscles holding his intestines in, and his arms and legs were just so skinny and spindly, and his face would just be like a skull with skin on it. I mean, these kids were starving. And here we had so much milk and cheese products that our government was buying from the farmers, and they were holding it in all these tanks and things, and having to pay to keep it, and it wasn't getting used, and it was rotting. When, I'm like, good grief, I don't know. It's such an incredible waste. And it's just so sad that there are so many people in this world that don't have enough to eat, that they weren't finding ways to ship it out and give it to more people. And there's still people who go hungry in our country, giving more of it to food banks and things that could help people. That just is heartbreaking to me, and was very disturbing to me. So those were my two big takeaways from this chapter. What do you think, Jeff?
I want to think about it a little bit more now that you just talked.
Okay.
So.
I know when I was talking to Jeff about this chapter yesterday, he remembered one of his favorite movies that used Cheese Whiz.
Oh, yeah. I think the Cheese Whiz had a product placement in. Have you watched the Blues Brothers? And they come back to that apartment tenement, the flop house next to the train tracks, and they go in there, and one guy says he's playing solitaire or whatever, and he says, "Hey, did you got my Cheese Whiz, boy?" And he throws it over, and he catches it and sets it right down in the camera, and just keeps playing. I mean, there was no other product placement. Why was that even there? I think it was to encourage people to buy Cheese Whiz. I think.
But it was kind of quirky. I don't know if you've never seen the Blues Brothers with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Oh my gosh.
Good movie.
It is such a great classic film. Look, maybe it might be on YouTube or Amazon Prime. I don't know, but look and see if you can find it if you've not seen it, because that movie is Fabulous. It's one of our all-time favorites. But yeah, and I think it was just weird. But Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, the Blues Brothers, were such quirky characters.
And they're just walking in. They just got out of prison, and oh yeah, I have this in my pocket here.
Yeah. But anyway, so that was one of Jeff's memories of Cheese Whiz.
We didn't eat Cheese Whiz at my house.
And you didn't eat Cheese Whiz at your house?
No, we didn't eat cheese pretty much either. And I didn't even like cheese.
No way, you didn't like cheese?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I am half Italian. My dad's 100%, and my grandmother, everyone on my dad's side of the family, 100% Italian. We ate a lot of cheese. My dad even had a pizza shop that I worked at as a kid. And so we ate a lot of pizza, a lot of lasagna with cheese. We would do things when my grandma would come and visit from New York when we lived in Illinois. She would bring a cooler with all these fancy cheeses and meats from New York delis that would just make my dad so excited when she would come and do that.
We did have
we ate a lot of
cheese slices of cheese food. So, they squirt out the goo into a little plastic thing and fold it up, and it's all individually wrapped for things like grilled cheese sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't.
We ate a lot of those too.
We were not rich, and it was kind of not fine dining to eat.
Yeah, and it was expensive.
Individually wrapped.
Well, not Kraft
American
individually
cheese
wrapped.
sandwich slices.
Right.
Yeah.
But regular cheese would be more expensive. That's all real cheese.
I didn't like it.
Wow. I did not know that. And here I've been married to Jeff for 35 years. And I did not know you didn't really grow up with cheese.
Something else they mentioned in the chapter about how they started trying to use up stuff like this, thinking of new uses for this cheese to make it into ingredients that go into something versus like a pizza, you put some cheese on top. Mm-hmm. And you see the cheese. And you see when you heated it up, it kind of pooled in little puddles of oil as it melted. And you could see seeing that and not maybe wanting to eat all that oil would be one of the things that would keep you from overeating cheese. But then they thought, well, we don't want to keep people from overeating cheese. We want them to use up our cheese. We got plenty of it. We got stuff sitting around everywhere. So they figured out, okay, let's make some recipes where they actually put it hidden into the food. Mm-hmm. And people, because of the excess fat that was in it, it would make them feel kind of satisfied, but they wouldn't realize how much cheese they were really eating.
And how many calories.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Cheese. Hey, we have some comments right now. We are live. This is a weight loss book club. So, and it's a club. So please be putting your comments down. If you're watching this on replay, I will respond to your comments that you write after this show is over. But right now we are live, and I am going to read what people are writing live right now. So let's see.
One last thing.
Sure.
I was thinking of the more you process your food so you can make it more flexible to put it here, put it there, to manipulate the taste, manipulate this, manipulate that, the worse it is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I do remember I've done Weight Watchers so many times over the years. I haven't for like the last 10 years or so, but I did for many, many years. And I remember when they came out with low-fat versions of cheese, and it didn't melt right. It didn't taste right. And
I really hated that.
Yeah, that was really awful. So I never buy those kinds of cheeses anymore. I only buy real cheese, except for I still do Mexican Velveeta cheese in my homemade potato soup. That was the recipe for it, and it
probably good for you.
Yes, probably not. Darn it.
Let's get Mikey.
But all of my other cheese is always now. I eat just regular cheese, even though it's full fat. It's delicious. I just try not to eat a lot of it. But it's better, I think, to have the full fat version, a little bit of that, than a bunch of it when it's it's like plastic cheese. Like rubbery plastic cheese. Ugh. It's not worth it to get the low fat kind. Okay. And we have some people here with some comments. TM is in the house, and TM says, I'm here as a listener and supporter. Yay! Glad to have you, TM. And we got Anna in the house. Hi, Anna. And TM says, my mom says hi, Gina and Jeff. Oh, thanks. Tell your mom we said hello, too. And we have Grant Campbell in the house, and he says, I knew there was a reason I didn't eat Cheez Whiz. It wasn't even cheese anymore. Oh, good grief. And Grant says, I still don't like cheese much either, Jeff. Wow, you are really lucky, Grant, because I think if I liked cheese less, it'd be easier for me to lose weight because I really do love cheese. And hey, we got Sandra in the house, and she says, hey, friends, I am several chapters behind, but I'm hoping to catch up over the next few weeks. No worries. We're only on chapter 8. We just do one chapter a week because we are a weight loss book club for busy people. So just one chapter a week, and we'll give it a deep dive. Next week, we'll be doing chapter 9, and around this same time, around 1 o'clock, we are going to church to a different church than we normally go to. And it is about 35 minutes or so from our house. So it took us a little bit longer to get home than I had thought. So I might switch it up, and it's either going to be at 1 o'clock Arizona time or 1:15 Arizona time, because it's really hard for me to make it at 1. So it might be more, it might be 1:15 next week, which would be 3:15 Central and 4:15 Eastern and 9:15 for our friends in the UK. All right. Did you have any other thoughts about this chapter, Jeff?
I think I mentioned them all.
Everything that you could think of?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I still love cheese. I'm still going to eat cheese, but I am only going to try to eat natural cheese. Except for maybe every now and again when I make my homemade cheese soup, when I have the kids over, because they really enjoy when I make something the way they loved when they were little. But that's what we've got this week. Does anybody have any wins this week to share? I am going, do you have a win this week? What's your win this week, Jeff?
Yeah, I lost 2 pounds on our vacation.
Yay! Good job. And I am going to share stepping on the scale tomorrow when I give myself my Mounjaro shot. I always go live on Mondays in the evenings. I'll be going live at 5 o'clock Arizona time, which will be 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, and crazy middle of the night for my UK and Australia friends. But I will be sharing how much weight I either lost, gained, or maintained. We were on an 8-week trip in our van. We are home now, so it'll be a lot easier to going back to our regular scheduled times for doing the book club on Sundays and doing my Mounjaro Monday lives on Monday nights. But I will be sharing tomorrow, stepping on the scale, and we'll see what the scale did. I did not want to step on the scale when the first day coming home. I like to give myself a week of eating regular food and not sitting around like you do in a van, driving a bunch of miles. So that way, if I have some of that loose where you hold water, I don't want that to count against me and make me feel bad. So I'm going to step on the scale tomorrow, and I will let you guys know tomorrow night if I have any wins. And we have some more comments here from you guys. Yeah, TM says the good stuff is yummy.
Do you take it out of the fridge and let it come to room temperature first so that it can convey all the flavors like it talked about in the book? I'm wondering. Maybe I would have liked cheese more if I had done that way.
Maybe. I know he likes cheese melted, like when I make nachos and things. He likes melted cheese and he likes pizza. And Sandra says, that is awesome. 2 pounds while cruising and traveling is amazing. Yeah, and he lost 2 pounds. He didn't even gain 2 pounds. He lost 2 pounds and went on a week-long cruise. That was one of the reasons He had told me that he would never cruise. For 35 years, we had not gone on a cruise. This was our very first one. But he was like, no, it'll just make me fatter. All I'll do is sit around all day and eat. I'm not going to go on a cruise ever. But he finally went and he lost 2 pounds. I can't believe it.
I did not weigh myself after the last day of the cruise.
No.
I waited until we got home.
That's true. That's true. But we had a whole bunch of traveling, and we visited a lot of relatives who made really delicious homemade foods for us. We still sampled fudge at places that had fudge. Every now and again, we had a piece of pie. We didn't. We still ate.
We pretty much ate breakfast from the foods we made ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We often made lunch from stuff we made ourselves, and often did dinner either at a relative's house or at a restaurant.
But we were splitting meals.
Splitting them.
That's right. We split meals.
You know what?
That makes a difference.
Too hard, Gina.
Splitting a meal with me?
Yeah, because most restaurants make their meals too big. Right. Because, they don't want a customer saying, oh, I wanted more and you didn't give me more. And I'm going somewhere else. So they've been giving us a lot already. Splitting it in half was really enough. Nice.
Yeah. And a lot of times I can't finish my half. And if Jeff's still hungry, then I let him have mine. And if he's not, and there was a few times he was like, you know what, I'm satisfied. And so I just put my napkin on top of it and let him throw it away.
I told her I don't want to be the clean plate club garbage disposal anymore.
Yeah.
So don't even tell me. You can't finish your half? Don't tell me. I don't need it.
All right. And Grant says, my A1C was only 5 on my latest blood work. Wow, Grant, that is fantastic. That is like crazy good. That is absolutely
normal, right?
Normal. That is like super normal. 5 is super duper good. 5.8 to 6.4 is the high range, not diabetic yet, but that's pre-diabetes. And then 6.5 and above is type 2 diabetes range. And so 5, wow, that is really low and fabulous. Good job, Grant. Thanks for sharing your win. Yep, and Sandra's congratulating Grant too. That is awesome. And Sandra wants to know if Grant has diabetes, and he says he has type 2. So your doctors must be so excited. Doctors are really happy with those of us who have type 2 diabetes if we can get it below a 7. But 7 and higher is really bad, and you start getting all kinds of terrible extra things happen to your body. If your blood sugar is too high too long, that's where you can lose organs like kidneys and things, and really awful stuff. So to go down to a 5.0, wow, that is super crazy fabulous. And Sandra says, it makes you decide together. It can either build your relationship or break it. Nice job. Oh, thank you. It really has helped us that we're working on our weight loss together, Jeff and I. He doesn't take a GLP-1. He has to do it the old-fashioned way because he doesn't have type 2 diabetes. And my insurance helps me with the cost of my Mounjaro. So I've been really lucky that I can do that. Hey, we got Logan in the house. Hi, Logan. And Logan said, summer, it's almost over.
Hey, in Arizona, kids are already back to school for a week already.
Yeah.
More.
I think they went back
week and a half,
the 21st or something like that. Yeah, I think they've been in school for 2 weeks already.
But they get 2 weeks off in October, 2 weeks in at Christmas time, and 2 weeks in March.
Yeah.
And they have a shorter summer. But
anyway, well, I hope
good luck in your next school year.
Yeah, and I hope you had a good summer, Logan. All right. And are you going to high school this next year? He says, I am going to be a cousin in 2 weeks. Wow. That's awesome. Well, congratulations to your relative who's having a baby. And it'll be so fun for you to play with that baby too. All right, everybody. I think that is it for in the discussion. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And
Chapter 9.
next
time.
week, chapter 9 of Salt, Sugar, Fat. What's chapter 9 called? I don't know. Chapter 9 is Lunchtime is All Yours. I don't know. So they'll be talking about some lunchtime things, I guess, and some history of some foods that are
probably the companies that offer. Remember that stuff we were reading about the companies that said we want to own lunch. You know, we want to have everything you need for lunch. We'll have it, and you just buy from us. Was it Kraft? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Guess we're gonna find out.
We haven't read that chapter yet. We're doing it right along with you all. So we'll be reading chapter 9 next week. Lunchtime is all yours, and we will see you next. We will see you next week. Oh wait, and Logan says Vivian Rose. Oh, very sweet. All right. Lunchables. Sandra thinks it might be about Lunchables. We're going to find out if you're right, Sandra. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on my Manjaro Monday Live. Hold on to your anchor moments and make it a great day. Bye-bye. Won't end. It's so funny. I keep